think it went live. Hey, Brother Jeep, how's it going, buddy? I am running a test. I have not done a live stream in, well, pretty much forever. And I wanted to try my new computer and my new microphone out and see how it works. So that is what I'm doing. Ah, good to hear, brother. It's a crazy world right now. I'm glad to hear all is well on your end. Yeah, new toys, new complications in my life, but they are new toys. The technical ones are usually the ones that give you the most trouble. Ah, same to you, brother. Thank you very much for watching every crazy video I put out and commenting. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers, especially the ones that can bear with me. If my voice fails, I do apologize. I'm still getting over a sore throat. I probably won't be on too long. I just want to see how this all works. Kind of refresh the memory. I think I did a few live streams, but it's probably been, oh my God, probably over a year at least since I've done a live stream. And alcohol, yeah, it makes it go easier usually. Don't know. I want to try to play my intro. I kind of had the image of like when you start a live stream, it would be nice if it started out with your intro because about everything on my videos that I do that I'm proud of, I have to say it's my intro that gives me the most pride. So I'm going to try that quick if you'll bear with me. If I can get it to play. Did it play on your end? Were you able to hear the volume? Ah, let me try that one more time. Bear with me, sir. Ah, you kidding me? No sound again? Al, I'm trying a live stream for the first time in a very long time. I'm trying to get my intro to be the first thing that's played, like when you enter the live stream, but apparently I'm having trouble with the audio. Yeah, as long, I mean, I guess the main thing is that you guys can hear me, but I'm trying to get my intro to have sound. I'm not sure why that's giving me issues. All this new fancy dancy equipment, I can't figure it out. Thanks, brother. I think you'd probably rather hear my intro. I think that's the best thing about my videos, but that's just my opinion. So I hope everybody is doing good out there. Everything going on with the virus and all that nonsense. Every day it seems like the numbers just keep going up. Would you rather hear Rocky? Huh. Let me tell you what, brother. He's probably the greatest bird I've ever seen or I've ever had. He learns so quick. But let me tell you what, you have to have a lot of patience when having a parrot because once they start to speak, that's it. They are nonstop from the time they get up in the morning to the time they go to bed at night. It's crazy. I don't understand how they don't like lose their voice because he will literally go nonstop trying to put words together. He talks to himself, then he puts sentences together. It's crazy. He definitely is entertaining. I got to admit that part. You'll have to excuse me. I have really nothing prepared. I just wanted to test this out. Like I was telling Jeep, I got a new computer and I got a new mic since the last time I did a live stream. And I really wasn't sure how it's all going to work together. And the only way you can actually test it is by going live. So here I am, unprepared as usual. Minx, I'm glad to see you showed up. Red Rooster, thank you as well, sir. Burnouts, glad to see you too, brother. And Bam. This is the best way. Ad lib it, open floor. Ah, very true. So cool to see you live. Earthquakes hitting. Hi. Yeah, I read that. Another 6.5. Let me tell you, the Ring of Fire in the Pacific has been volatile like for the last 3 years and doesn't seem to want to calm down. It's like the tectonic plates are shifting again. I don't know if you guys really read into anything about that stuff, but that's almost what it's like. It's having another shift. Idaho, yeah, well, it's like it's all moving again. You know, they talk about the earth goes in cycles. I really believe those tectonic plates get moving in the same way they say earth goes in, cycles when it comes to the climate and the weather. I almost equate the same concept to the tectonic plates. Hello from Ottawa, Canada. Doing good up here. Good to hear, brother. I can't say it enough. I really thought you guys were going to get rid of Trudeau this last election, but unfortunately not. You got a little closer than last time, but unfortunately you made it back in as your PM. Much condolences on that part. Dutch Cincy channel. What is the Dutch Cincy channel? I never heard of that one. YouTube is so vast. Oh, yeah, Dodo Trudeau. YouTube is so vast. There's literally so many channels out there. You could spend a lifetime on it and never come across the same one twice if you didn't want to. It's crazy. The amount of content that YouTube has is vast. Unfortunately, YouTube only pushes what they want to push. That's the trouble with YouTube. Dodo Trudeau. That is very true. Earthquake forecaster, Dutch Sense. Is that an actual Dutchman or is that just a nickname? Because I'm actually in PA and I grew up around a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah, and all that stuff. No, not a real Dutchman. That would have really cracked me up. Yeah, earthquakes are real popular right now. And the weather being up and down, I mean, you never really know what to expect. His name is Dutch Cincy. Dutch Sense. Huh. Pretty catchy name, I gotta admit that. Throws me a curve with the S-I-N-S-E, but I get it. Other than that, did anybody watch Trump? I really don't know how Trump is able to day after day do all these press conferences and deal with everything he's dealing with. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't even believe the guy sleeps anymore. Apocalypse now or what? Lord, I hope not. I mean, if it comes, it comes. I think I got as prepared as I possibly can get prepared. I've been on a rant now for I don't know how many videos warning everybody at least stock up for a month or two minimum, just because you really don't know where everything's going to go right now. President Trump is like the ever ready bunny. Yeah, that about sums it up. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I don't know how he does it at his age. You know, maybe if he was still in his 50s or 40s or 30s, if I'm not mistaken, he's 71. Like, I don't know how he does it. And then to be under constant attack, I've never seen a president in my life under the amount of stress, strain, and attack he is under a constant basis. It mind boggles me he doesn't screw up more than he does. And he really doesn't screw up that much. The Dems are calling the briefings Trump rallies now. Well, you know, thanks for hopping in, John. I don't really know how to comment on that. Because in a way, he is starting to get a little rally-ish in his press conferences. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, you know, he's trying to motivate the people. He's trying to motivate the people that back him. He's trying to keep everybody at least in a little bit of a positive spirit. And, you know, as far as it goes, he's under attack, like I said, almost constantly. Like, I don't even know how the guy takes it, to be honest with you. So for him not to fire back in, like, the press conferences and stuff, especially with Acosta out there asking him stupid questions and all the condescending reporters out there who you almost swear is working for the Democrats, you know, I don't know, how do you expect him not to respond back in a way? And I think that's how he does it, you know. I do see their point. He is a little rally-ish in some of his press conferences now, but I don't know what you expect out of the guy. I know I couldn't take it, be honest with you. It's not like YouTube. Like, you guys come on, you watch a video of mine, you leave your comments. If I respond back, you know, that's on me. You know, he's up there in front of the nation. He has to respond back to all their ridiculous nonsense. So I don't know how he does it. Like I said, if I get some troll in my comments, I can choose to ignore them and move on. You know what I mean? Move on to the next video or the next comment. Him, he doesn't have that option. That man is under a lot of strain. Whether you like him, agree what he does, disagree, I have to say, you know, hats off to him. I don't know how he does it. I couldn't do it. You know, honestly, not like he does. And then his social media, he's constantly under attack on Twitter. You know, like I said, hats off to the guy. I don't know how he does it. Sleepy, creepy Joe. Oh, my God. You know, all jokes aside, like I did that video today on him, I had to defend him a little bit because he did that one where he messed up. You know, he was in, who was he? I don't remember the reporter anymore again. But, you know, he was literally talking about his deceased wife and, you know, the kid he lost. I could see him making a mistake there and getting choked up. But, I mean, constantly, it shows you where he's at on a mental standpoint. Anderson Cooper, thank you. I don't know how they expect him to run the nation, like on a constant basis. I really do believe the guy is seriously suffering from mental problems, you know, whether it be dementia, a disease, just getting too old. I mean, the guy is 77. I don't like Biden. I really do feel a little out of sorts for sticking up for him in a way, because I don't like him. I think he's corrupt. I think he extorted Ukraine. I think he covered all that up. I think he did what the Democrats was blaming Trump to do. But on another standpoint, you know, the guy's falling apart. Don't put him through running for the president of the United States. I mean, come on. And then your only other option at the moment is Bernie. And I really don't want to see Bernie even run, because I don't like Bernie at all. I think he's a hypocrite, so on and so forth. I think he's a communist. I think he's delusional as far as what he wants to do with this country. He's literally going to bankrupt it. But at least he can put a coherent sentence together. Biden's even probably past that point. Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, TDS. How can you even imagine before Trump that there would be a literal like syndrome or derangement syndrome that you could actually attach to a human being? That people could literally hate that man so much that they almost literally lose their minds. Actually looks like his handlers are social distancing themselves from Sleepy. Yeah. I feels like sticking him in his rec room or basement or wherever they locked him up to do his lives now. I feel like they just are kind of throwing him to the wolves. Renegade. Hey, Redneck, how's it going, brother? The man who is by far the fatwood connoisseur of YouTube, without a doubt. Yeah, Biden, I don't know. I don't know how they can actually figure they're going to get him through a debate. I mean, even if you stick an earpiece in his ear, I'm not even sure he's at that point anymore. He could follow along throughout a whole debate, like an hour debate, especially against Trump. Like, if there's anybody, whether I like him or not, I have to give credit as being one of the best debaters, it's Trump. You know, the man can cut you down whether you like it or not. He is so good at trolling and cutting somebody up without even trying. Why would you want to even put poor Joe Biden in a debate with Trump? Unless they're thinking that somehow the debates will never happen? There cannot be a debate. That would be cruel. Yeah, I know. That's what I keep thinking. Like, how could you put a man through that in his mindset? Maybe they want Biden to run and have Clinton as VP. And then, I've been wondering that. I think they did ask Hillary if she was going to run as his VP, and she said no. But I don't trust her. I mean, after everything you've seen out of Hillary Clinton, why in God's name would you trust anything that comes out of her mouth? And that's where I'm at. So it could actually be a possibility. It's going to hinge on his VP pick. Yeah. Well, just like Jeep just said, John, is he going to go with Hillary, or who's ever pulling the strings for Biden? Are they going to pick Hillary? I don't know. It's a scary thought because I got to be honest with you. I cannot even picture having to listen to Hillary be in any type of actual political circle at all, even in running up for the debates. Cuomo, possibly. Yeah. Cuomo, just because he's had a few good press conferences now where he's kind of made sense, everybody's jumping on his bandwagon. But let's be serious. He's running New York. New York is broke. If you listen to any of his press conferences, what does he complain about? Having to buy ventilators. You know why he's complaining about having to buy ventilators? New York City is broke. He's just another example of a blue state governed by Democrats that's literally been driven to bankruptcy. California, anyone? So, yeah, I mean, they are talking Cuomo now, but I can't picture it. Only because his track record in New York. And now I lost my screen. Just push power on the TV, on the remote, hun. Bear with me for a second. I lost my chat screen. Oh, technical difficulties. This is why I wanted to conduct a test of the emergency live stream. Now you got to click enter for the source. There you go. Thank you. Sorry about that. My live stream just whoop. Maybe they want Biden to run. You got to mute that. Thank because now I'm going to hear an echo. Thank you. It's going to hinge on his VP pick. Cuomo possibly. She'll kill him off. Oh, Hillary. Not Hillary. Come on. What are you trying to say here? Hillary has a long list of bodies in her wake, so to speak. Nah, not Hillary. Why? Cuomo hoarded masks and ventilators. Yeah. Cuomo hoarded masks and ventilators because, for one, let's face it, Cuomo is still a Democrat, and Cuomo still wants to make Trump look bad, right? So, by Cuomo accidentally forgetting about all the masks and ventilators he already had, he was making Trump look bad, right? And on a side note, not to defend Cuomo, and not to sound like a apocalypse now, or I'm trying to induce a panic, but whatever Cuomo has, I almost guarantee you it's probably not going to be enough. By the way the numbers are rising in New York City, they're probably going to be in a not so good of a spot here in the next month or so. So I could see him kind of wanting to get more. Granted, making Trump look bad by saying he didn't have any, in my opinion, is not right. But I could kind of see his pushing for more aspect. I thought that too, yeah. Like I said, not Hillary. Cuomo sucks, releasing prisoners. Yeah, what is up with that? Why do we now believe that, hey, the best thing to do is to release the prisoners? Why are they in prison? They're not in prison, most of them, because they didn't do anything, or that they're safe to be out in society, or they don't have a debt to pay. But yeah, that's like their answer to it. Well, let's just let all the prisoners loose. Yeah, because as well as dealing with the virus, we really want to deal with more criminals on the streets right now. Yes, good call. Thundering, welcome aboard, brother. You still believe in all political theater like a child. Thank you for that. I have not at my age been called a child in quite a long time, but thanks for tossing that in there. Do I believe in all political theater? No. But here's the thing. You're in the game. If you're alive, if you're in this country or any other, let's face it, you are in the game. Whether you want to play along or not, now that part is up to you, and totally up to you. But let's face it, you're in the game, buddy. Whether you play, go along with it, argue it, agree with it, and the most important part, in my opinion, is vote. That's up to you. John, a computer virus. Yeah. More like my system times out. And then at that point, boom. Why was your message retracted? Minx, Hillary. Yes, Hillary. Thundering, they all have a body list. Wake up. You're right. I'm not going to argue that. The left has a list and the right has a list. Let's face it, especially throughout our entire lifetime of the country. Yeah, I mean, you can call both sides. Whose side is worse? That's where you get to debate. Cuomo is trying to finish us off here. Oh, are you in New York, Minx? If so, I'm sorry to hear that. Although I gotta admit, I like the Finger Lakes region. I can't stand the city anymore. Yes. New York's a split bag. Like, you get out of the city, it's great. You know, like I said, you know, the wineries, the Finger Lakes, great regions. You know, all that midsection is great. You know, it's great country, nice people. You get too far into the cities, though, I'm sorry, that's not for me. New York City, once when I was young, really wasn't that bad. I mean, I've been there a number of times, but man, it's just gotten worse over the years. More people, more congestion. That's where I am, the island. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm sorry too, yeah. So apparently you do agree with me. It's a shame, like I said, New York City was once a cool place to, at least for me, to visit. But as the years went on, just not for me no more. My wife drives me nuts. She repeatedly asked me, take me to New York City. Let's go shopping, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do I look like the type that wants to go to New York City, let alone go shopping? So needless to say, unfortunately, she doesn't get to go. That's where I am, the island. Yeah. Hey, were you on Justin's live stream today? I seen his thing flash in my notifications, and then I never made it on. Very cool. Justin's a good guy. He gets a little twisted up at times, and I think he has a hard time with all the stress, but underneath it all, he's a good dude. I don't know, has anybody got any more questions for me while I was running my test live stream? YouTube demonetization killing him. Oh my God. Don't even get me started. YouTube is a beautiful platform. You'll never be given a platform again that is as useful as YouTube. And if you take full advantage of it and you succeed in this platform, you can make tons of money. Like the possibilities are endless, right? But here's the thing about YouTube. It only works if they let you let it work. If they agree with your content, if they back what you're doing on your channel. Now, you can have the best channel in the world, and you won't make hardly a dime on YouTube if they don't agree with your content. I don't care what anybody says. Shadow banning is a thing. I've seen it. You know, and they even keep your subs down. They control your views on your channel. They control your searchability as far as what your videos get on YouTube. They really have everything controlled. And the worst part about their demonetization, like Locked and Loaded's channel probably isn't 100% demonetized. Shadow banning is when they are limiting your viewership and you don't even know it. When they're controlling the amount of views you get, you don't even know it. When they're controlling your sub count and you don't even know it. I can give you a perfect example. So, wasn't this past summer, I believe it was the summer before, when I was still kind of early in YouTube, I would watch on my analytics, and your analytics give you like each breakdown of how much views you're getting per minute, literally per minute, per hour, per video. Like it's a total breakdown of your channel by the numbers of what's going on, almost virtually up to the minute. And while I would be doing videos or editing videos, I would have my analytics page open because, you know, I'm curious how my videos are doing. So I would watch one video sitting there, getting maybe a view or two an hour if I was lucky, okay? And then all of a sudden, that video would go from 1 or 2 an hour, it'd be over like 200. And you could see it because it would go from the bottom of your list right up to the top. And the next thing you know, you're getting 200 views per hour on a video. And you're like, I don't even understand it because that video could be a month old. It didn't make any sense to me. And then all of a sudden, maybe an hour or two later, it would literally drop back down to 1 or 2 views. But that, I believe, is part of shadow banning because I almost describe YouTube like a faucet. And you're on the other end with a glass. And they're either going to open that faucet all the way to you and they're going to fill your glass, or they'll let it drip. Or sometimes they'll screw up and open it a little too much and let it run, fill your cup, and then realize it and their system shuts you off again. That is almost how I describe their shadow banning. It's almost like a faucet. But like I said, YouTube is an amazing platform. if they wouldn't have gone full left. That's the only thing wrong with YouTube. So my content, I got to hit review on a lot of my videos and have it manually reviewed because otherwise it's hit for limited monetization. Okay, that's a yellow icon. If you get that yellow icon, you make like no money, okay, which we don't make much money anyway, but you make no money. And on top of it, you don't get no searchability. So instead of being maybe on the first 3 or 4 pages of their search engine, you might be on their 31st. So you never get found. That's the worst part about limited monetization and their form of shadow banning. So the worst thing is then you'll click to review the video and they'll give it to you. They'll agree with you. There's nothing wrong with their video. Fully monetize it and make it green, but it's too late. Because by that point, you're already a day later and your video's done. Most of my views, probably like Justin, you get in the first couple hours of your videos. The Texas Outlaw. How's it going, Michael? I'm losing my voice, brother. Wow, the Pirate Live. What's the world coming to? Good to see you too, brother. I have a new computer. I have a new mic. I have a new setup. So I really wanted to try live streaming because I haven't live streamed in, forever. So I wanted to try out my new system and see how it does. Jeep, did you hear China released a press release stating that patients that had recovered from the beer virus are testing positive again? Yes, Jeep, I heard that. Oh my God. I heard rumors of that probably more than a month ago. And that was one of the things they were most concerned about. Because I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the WHO goes back and forth on, World Health Organization. I don't care what President Trump says. Don't take this wrong. I'm a Trump supporter just because of on the basis of what he's done for our country. But I don't care what anybody says. This is not a normal virus. You do not watch a virus go from completely one end of the globe and in the blink of the eye, it's everywhere. And it's so contagious, it's ridiculous. They're still hee-hawing around as far as whether it's airborne. You knuckleheads, I said a while ago this thing has to be airborne because no regular virus that's a contact virus is this contagious. And you could see just from the United States map how quickly it has literally spread across our country, let alone the whole globe. It's insane. I still say it came out of that lab in Wuhan, whether it was accidental, whether it was on purpose, whatever the case may be, I still swear it came out of that lab, and I will believe that to the day I die. They're never going to convince me otherwise. Minx, okay, I didn't know. Thank you. I had no idea. Yeah, Minx, like I said, this is an amazing platform, but they have a ton of control over it. What they can do behind the scenes with parameters and things like that is immense. And the worst thing is when you call them out on it, because once you have X number of subscribers and watch hours, you can literally call them on the phone or chat real time with YouTube, their support techs, and you call them out on it, and they say they have no idea why. They have no idea why they demonetize your video, and they give it back to you. But that's my point. Nobody with that sophisticated, especially of an AI system that has multi-millions of dollars in that program, doesn't have a running log error as to why things are happening, why that program is deciding what it's deciding. So you call YouTube and they're full of BS, to say the least. Shadow banning in theory and practice defines it as practice at deliberately making someone's content undiscoverable or searchable in the search engine, to everyone except the person who posted it, unbeknownst to the original poster. Yes, that is shadow banning. I guess once it stops, once we dig our heads out of the sand, I guess it's no longer the shadow part. Hun, you got to hit that power again. Thank you. Michael, looks good and sounds good too. Thanks, brother. I was hoping it sounds good. I got a ton of money tied up in my PC, so, Jeep, agree. Hey, Jesus, welcome aboard, brother. If you look at the points of origins, when it first started, it was like it was planted over the world. Oh, yeah, one case here, one case there, etc., all over the world. Well, yeah, you know, and I hate to say it, in these modern times, it will do that. I mean, we have crazy ability to travel now. Face it. I mean, 1 minute you could be here, the next minute, I've been there, 16, 18 hours later, you're on the other side of the globe. So, yeah, that part of it really looks shady, we'll say, on China's part. But the only thing I could say on that is I'm not saying they aren't at fault, but at the same time, them Chinese, they love to travel. That is big on their to-do list. Like, they travel 24/7 when they aren't working, especially the elites of China. So I could see how they could spread it real quick. But at the same time, I don't trust China. So for me to say it wasn't on purpose, I'm not going to go there. Minx. Yep, Wuhan lab is a culprit, all right. Yeah. If you watch one video I do, and I don't remember how I labeled it. I know I labeled a lot of them coronavirus updates. But if you watch that one video I did where I literally posted the link to the lab where they were hiring back in, I don't remember, was it last year? Last year sometime, for 2 doctors to study the very virus that escaped from the lab, well, that got loose in a market somehow. Yeah, come on. They traveled to Italy to celebrate their New Year. Oh, yeah, that's how Italy got hit so hard. And I think they travel to Italy a lot to begin with. That's one of their to-do destinations. I'm amazed Vegas wasn't blown up, to be honest with you. They love to gamble. Here's a question for you. And yeah, Jeep, the elitists probably are already vaccinated. But here's a question for you. If you look at the numbers, right? Just look at the numbers. Who in their right mind out there really believes that China stopped at 81,000? Or what are they up to now? 82, 83? Who really believes that they just stopped and their infection rate just stopped when the rest of the world just continues to increase? China is the biggest bunch of liars possibly on the globe. They put Hillary to shame. Minx, they love designer stuff too. Oh, yeah. Anything in trend, that's China. Well, at least the people there who have money. Let's get that straight. There's a lot of Chinese people in China who are suffering because they are living under a communist dictatorship. But the elitists, oh, yeah. I heard over 20 million cell phones gone in China. Yeah, I seen that. The cell phone data just, whoop. Yeah. How do you explain that? How do you logically explain that? Because Asians and their phones, they glue them in their hands. There's not an Asian, unless they're absolutely dirt poor, that doesn't have a cell phone. Not to mention, as well as the cell phones, they were ordering urns by the thousands upon thousands of urns. Why? Because during this whole time period, the only thing China has been doing with bodies has been cremating them. Crematorium's been running 24/7. And that's why they need so many urns. If it was only 3,000, or what was it again that they stopped at? 8,000? Whatever their death total supposedly stopped at. Yeah, come on. They wouldn't need thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of urns. One crematorium ordered like 5,000 urns, just that crematorium, and put in another order. Such nonsense. But that's China. They can't tell the truth to save their lives. obviously. Jesus, are you virus? Why did all leaders screw up so badly on this? Was it a conspiracy? All these world leaders can't be that stupid. I mean, common sense. Don't get me started on common sense. I mean, common sense would have said close borders, close airports. Yes, you are absolutely 100% correct. But here's the problem with world leaders. Here's a problem with Donald Trump, okay? As much as like I said, I'll be voting for Trump. Don't get me wrong. But here's the problem with Trump. Trump wants the U.S. to succeed, okay? Above all else, he wants the U.S. to succeed. Closing borders and closing airports and air travel is a huge deal, and it's something that goes against everything that man is about, okay? Because he's about succeeding, he's about winning the next election as well. Don't think that didn't play into the scenario. So by shutting down the borders and airports, if it would have been the wrong call and crashing the economy, would have absolutely cost him the election. So that's why he probably didn't do it early, even though I believe he should have done it early. But it's easy for me to sit on this end in my little world, in my little YouTube channel, and say, you should have did it early. And as far as other world leaders doing it early, I think it's the same thing. They all sit on that threshold of whether should I or shouldn't I, and they don't want to make the call. It's easier, hopefully, to ride it out, and hopefully, like all the other crazy viruses, remember this part, that has broken out in China, and they've been able to contain them. They probably just figured this was another one in a long list of viruses that China was going to be able to contain, excuse me, in its borders. So thus, that leads to everybody being like, no big deal. We'll keep an eye on it, but China has it. I mean, just another one they probably created and let loose, so they'll be able to handle it. Why are Bernie and Pocahontas MIA? Well, Bernie, I really believe he was tied up in the Senate, arguing one way or the other, probably the other, to stuff more pork in his stimulus bill. So I honestly believe that was keeping him busy, and probably Warren, because if I'm not mistaken, she's supposed to be a senator too. I guess that's debatable. But I think that's pretty much why they've been MIA. Now, I'm just trying to figure out with Bernie when he's going to bow out of the election. When he's going to call it quits. When he figures he's hung in there long enough to collect a big enough paycheck from the Democrats and bow out. That's what I think Bernie's waiting for. And I think my voice is about ready to quit. But that's where I believe Bernie and Pocahontas is. Jesus, I don't know if that really answered your question as far as why everything took so long and everything got so out of whack so fast. And honestly, I mean, in my lifetime, with all the crazy viruses that's been out there, none of them has moved this quickly. I don't think anybody even was ready for it, except for maybe China, because they knew what to do, because I still think they released it, but, I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube. Minx, when they buy him another house. Exactly. I think that's why he ran again. Bernie knew he could put in a good enough show, and I'm not even sure he wants to be president, to be honest with you. I think he just wants to put in a good enough show to get bought out again, like with Hillary, and then sit on the sideline, write a book, and make millions more. I mean, how could you even blame him? He literally made millions by not being president, by writing a book about if he'd have been president. Bellick, hey, welcome aboard, brother. Got to run, Captain. More live stream. Yeah, I was giving it a shot. Like I was been telling, I got a new computer, mic. It's actually even a new camera. So I wanted to try it out and see how it would work before I actually did a technical live stream, but this went a little longer than I thought. Jesus, well, at least we know that one of the main groups hardest hit by this virus will be those with low IQ. Darwinism, eugenics, definitely thinning out the herd. And unfortunately, along with that, the vulnerable, our elderly, our older generations. I mean, I'm only late 40s, but even my generation is susceptible to this crazy virus. All you have to do is have one underlying health condition. And I'm even seeing cases where nobody has anything wrong with them, supposedly, and they're still dying. So that's a little concerning. Minx, I'm glad you agree. Butch, welcome aboard, brother. It's good to see you. Doing a test live stream. I didn't think I was going to go this long. I don't know if my voice will go much longer, if you can't tell. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody got any more questions on the big V word? That's virus. That's not anything else. I'll have to plead the fifth on anything else. This is trying to be like a semi-family channel. Jeep, what do you think about this stimulus package? It'll help in the short term. Are we paying off our huge debt? This will make our economy die. Yeah, the stimulus package. Let me tell you what, if you want a headache, sit down and try to read the House's, Congress, Nancy Pelosi's 1,400-page stimulus proposal that didn't get put through, even though some of it got put through, but that's another story. If you really want a headache, and I tried, sit down and try to go through 1,400 pages of her stimulus proposal. And thank God at least all that nonsense didn't get put through. Where do you go with the stimulus? It's the same thing when Obama did it, but this time around, it might be a little more important. I don't know where you allow failure. That's really the most important question, Jeep. It's not so much about adding the debt. The problem with the stimulus comes to where do you allow failure? And what I mean by that is if the government sits back, and this is where I don't know how you even make the call, but if the government sits back, right, and does nothing and allows the economy to completely run its course until we don't know really when this virus situation is going to be over and everything will be back to semi-normal, if ever. I mean, they still don't know how this virus is going to act long term, which is one of the big things that's up in the air. But I mean, oops, hold on, wait a minute. We make our economy die. Good question, Jeep. I mean, it's great that we are prosperous, but I never heard Trump mention about paying it off. Paying off. Oh, okay. So you're saying paying off the stimulus now that it's already happened. I got you. Well, again, I don't think it's a good idea in that aspect because adding more debt to our already crazy amount of debt, I mean, in no way is good, right? I mean, you can't say it's a good thing to add more debt. I don't believe in debt, all right? I worked hard all my life, and I've been trying to make it now, especially that I'm getting older, that I have no debt. But at the same time, if everything around you is in risk of failure, your debt doesn't mean anything. I know that's not going to make a whole lot of sense, but if Trump sat back and didn't put the stimulus in and people literally went broke, okay, who's out of work trying to pay their bills. Not that $1,200 is going to last forever, but it's a short-term fix. And it's going to keep, hopefully, a lot of people's heads above water. And as far as the business side of it, you can't let too many businesses go under, because once they go under, chances are they might be gone. So as far as paying it off, I hate to say it, we couldn't have been in a better spot with this economy moving the way it's been moving, and, business being where it was at, to add to debt. It sounds nutty, but we couldn't have asked for a better market to add more debt to. Good, bad, otherwise, I don't believe in the debt. I don't like it. I think we should be paying it down. But Trump needed to add to the debt to get the economy started, get it rolling, because it wasn't going anywhere. It was stagnant. And now that it's rolling, adding the stimulus to it wasn't as bad of an impact. And I believe if we can keep things going the right direction, I mean, let's face it, if you just stop federal aid to all the other countries for a couple years, you'd make a heck of a dent in that debt. If we stop funding so many other countries, so many other nonsense out there in the world, and worried about the United States, the debt would go down. Well, whether they'll do that or not, there's too many bleeding hearts out there, and heck, they wouldn't listen to me even if I had a megaphone screaming in their ear on it. I lost my spot. Minx, what about the Federal Reserve? I keep hearing some people saying that President Trump just about ended it. And would that be good or bad? I don't think he would do that, even though he's a big critic of it. Yeah. Well, the feds didn't want to work with him. The economy was rolling good enough. If they would have dropped interest rates at that time the way he wanted, it would have went off the charts as far as the economy went. So yeah, he's not a big fan of them, but at the same time, I don't think he's gonna get rid of the Federal Reserve. I mean, I don't think so, but I don't think he'll do it. They finally dropped the rates where he wanted them originally, a little late, but I don't think he's going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. But you never know. Good thing about the stimulus, illegals will not get a penny, I hope. Ugh. You and me both, Jeep. I'm no fan of anybody who've broken our laws, cheated our system, cheat our taxpayers, and comes to the U.S. and lives on our dime. I am not a fan. I will never be a fan. If there is one thing that really turned me off about the Democrats, that was it. Makes just Jeep, I agree. Blunt. Hey, welcome aboard, Blunt. Trust in Trump. He knows what he's doing. Ah, yes. Well, we hope so anyway. Butch. I don't think Trump's perfect. I'll put that out there. I don't know who's going to give me flack, but Trump is human. So I don't believe he's perfect. I believe in some aspects he's going to have to fall back on the people around him. Hopefully he continues to try to weed out the ones that aren't any good around him. But, I think he needs to also rely on who he has around him. Because like I said, he's human. It's hard to be perfect all the time. Jesus, Google. Yeah, U.S. debt clock for real time. Oh, I don't want to look. It is a very interesting moving live chart. Jesus, I don't even want to look at the debt clock right now because, yeah, it is only going up. John, there's one reason why Trump is saying that America should get back to work soon. Yeah. Oh, that's one reason. Yeah, you're right, John. The longer we wait, the longer the economy keeps going the other direction, the longer the U.S. output keeps declining. I can't argue with that, and I know that's why he's pushing it. At the same time, I don't think this virus is a joke. And the worst part about it is, no, I don't think half of the U.S. population is going to succumb and pass away to it. But at the same time, if we all get sick, at the same time, it's totally going to overwhelm our healthcare system. That is the part that quarantines actually help with. I don't want to be quarantined myself, but I understand the concept of it as far as overwhelming our healthcare system. Gee, Minx, thank you. Butch, I saw that, Jesus. Gee, Butch, thanks. Jesus, Butch. Hey, Chris, welcome aboard, brother. Give us some money. Giving us some money is great, and maybe a second one in the future, but what's the point if you can't good out? Paid our bills. Who in the hell would want to do that? Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't feel like paying the bills. I get it. Point if you can't good out. Paid our bills? Who in the hell would want to do that? Yeah. I mean, let's face it. If you get a check for $1,200, I mean, I want to go out and buy a new toy too. I ain't going to lie to you. If you're in that financial standpoint, my best advice, take that $1,200 and just set it aside for right now. At least until most of this nonsense is over and everything's back to semi-normal. That's my best advice if you don't need to actually spend that $1,200 check. And then afterwards, go buy whatever you want to buy. A few cases of rum, that's a good idea. Cheap. They've been given a stimulus package since day one. PMS, they should be happy with that. PMUSB, free healthcare, they should be happy with that. Yeah, and that's like they said about the people on Social Security. Should they get, a check, yada, yada, yada. I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, because they're already receiving a constant check. They're not really impacted. But at the same time, I don't know how you can deny them because they've been U.S. taxpayers for so long. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the elderly, they might be impacted with more costs. Maybe they got to pay somebody to go out and get their groceries now, or whatever the case may be, or maybe their prescriptions have gone up. I don't know. Jeep, I meant the illegals. Oh, don't get me started on the illegals. All right, never mind. I was off on a different topic. Grant, welcome aboard, brother. What do you feel about the global reset to the gold standard? What I didn't see, what were they looking to reset it to? I did not see that. Last time I seen, wasn't gold up around 1,700 an ounce? I haven't been keeping an eye on the markets. I just recently started trading stock again, just because I have some advice if you're a gambler. Right now, the stock market is a crazy place to make money, as well as lose money. If you're a gambler and you want to play, as crazy as it sounds, this market is the best place to be playing in right now. Although I don't advise it unless you have it to lose it. Chris, Trump, Minx, nobody is perfect, only God. He's just a man. I'm glad he's the president right now, though. Yeah, me too, Minx. There's no way for him to be perfect. He makes a wrong call here and there, and he slips up here and there. But you cannot ask for a guy to be in that position right now who has more energy and more ability to deal with this problem than Trump. Like I said, I don't know how he does it. Hey, Will, welcome aboard, brother. Jesus, check out YouTube. Eric Butler for President 2020. I promise you we will get a kick out of it. About 1 minute long. Eric Butler for... Oh, man, I'm not up to the browser stuff on the live chats yet. I have to get there. I got to set everything up. I kind of hopped on as a test. Grant Klaus, get it out of the bank now. Keep the cash. Yeah. And I don't know where to go with that. The banks are insured if you have a good bank. I don't have a bank. I'm going to be honest with you, Grant. I don't have a bank. Mine's a trust company. So it's similar to a bank, but it's a little different. Every dollar that I have in there, they have set aside and insured. So I'm hoping my money's safe. I mean, if everything collapses, yeah, hopefully it's still safe, but you never know. Mike, rum is good. I prefer mead. Skull. Ah, mead. Yeah. I had mead one time, and I don't know why. I got a heck of a headache in it from it. So I haven't touched it ever since then. Jeep. I meant the illegals. Yeah, I got you, brother. I went off on another tangent altogether. Grant, yes, I should get a check. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that those poor people pay taxes all their life. So a lot of people are complaining about them getting a check, but they still pay taxes to some extent. So yes, I do agree they should still get a check. Blunt, the Communist News Network is making it 10 times worse than it is, raising the panic level. Blunt, I agree, but you got to understand that's what they do anymore. They're basically a drama show. They're not a news network. They gave that up. They're just, however they can put a headline to create the most drama, that's what they're going to do. It could be about a girl walking her dog in the park, meets the love of her life, and they will dramatize that like she almost died walking into the park or whatever the case may be. Whatever the story is, they're going to pull every ounce of the drama out of it they can. So this virus, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. That's what they're doing. Will F. Where's Rocky? Rocky is luckily asleep. He goes to bed about 9 o'clock-ish, and as soon as I turn the lights out, he's quiet as a church mouse. Thank you, Lord, for that. Because believe me, during the day, he goes in spurts, but he gets off on tangents. He will not stop between the beeps and the talking and he literally has conversations with himself. It's like he's almost possessed. If you don't have a lot of patience, do not get a bird. Do not get a parrot. Do not get a Congo African gray because they will drive you insane. Michael, busy, buy low, sell. Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of these stocks you buy low, they go up on, how do I want to say it? Rebounds, sell, buy again when they drop again. It's probably, it's a gamble, but Carnival Cruise Line, I've made actually a pretty penny just riding Carnival Cruise Line right now. Buy at 10, sell at 14, buy at 12, sell at 18. It's been up and down in such huge fluctuations. It's a great way to make money. A lot of the stocks have been. But at the same time, I highly advise not doing it unless you're ready to get rid of the money. Unless you're ready to wave goodbye and lose it, do not do it. Chris Rose, I'm a whiskey, but thanks. I would love to have a couple of drinks, some with you. You one cool brother. Maybe I'll be by some stuff to support your channel. Thanks, brother. Just viewing my videos for me is thanks enough. I don't have merch. I just like coming on and hopefully doing a good enough video that it entertains the people who want to watch me. But I really appreciate that, brother. Text Mike, wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. That's very true. I gotta admit, I've had some nasty hangovers from wine too. Wine can get you pretty buzzed pretty quick if you drink it quick. Jesus, Angry Pirate News. Guess this test gets a high passing grade. It's great. I'm glad to hear that, Jesus. I'm hoping everybody is getting good audio. I have the latency turned up. I think it's at normal, which most people run on a low latency. So if anybody's getting any lag or anything funny across this stream, that's really why I'm on. So if you see anything, let me know. I'm curious to hear. Mike, I'm getting my cash out of the bank. Mike, I can't argue that. You know what I mean? My suggestion is get your cash out and just keep enough in to cover your automatic payments for bills and such. Because if China does attack us, it'll likely be a cyber one. I heard they were trying to attack the WHO, the World Health Organization. I don't know if that was true or not, but I read that somewhere that they were getting cyber attacked by somebody from China, which doesn't surprise me. But the only thing is, the WHO basically backs China. Like everything that China wants them to say, the WHO says it. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, why even go about doing that? But that's China. You know, they're as corrupt as they come. Grant, the Fed is going bankrupt. Yeah, well, that's not a good thing. More they print money, that's not a good thing. You know, we only have so much to back the dollar. So the more they print, the more they lower the interest rates, the more they do all that crazy stuff, yes, the more it hurts our Federal Reserve. But at the same time, if this ends in, I don't know, July, June, whenever we get back to semi-normal and the economy bounces back, I wouldn't really be too concerned about it. Really. Minx, really, Grant. Really. Blunt, Texas outlaw. That's what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, taking your money out. Like I said, I can't disagree with that, Blunt. There's no place it's going to be safer than in your own house. Like I said, I don't have a bank. Mine is a trust company. So it's kind of on a different level. But, you know, if you're in a regular bank, I would be a little bit careful right now. Will, the leftist media thrives on misery, death, and destruction. To use for the Democrats, false narratives and agendas. Yes. Will, I got to be honest with you. At some point, us as conservatives, and maybe more so like our parents, our grandparents, they kind of stepped away. They stepped away from the media. They stepped away from positions like in Hollywood. You know, you don't see many conservative actors anymore. And we kind of gave all that up. And who filled those positions? Liberal art people, you know what I'm saying? Leftist leaning, easily manipulated Democrats who are basically cattle. They buy into what they hear in their colleges. And, you know, that was another thing. Our education system, a lot of the colleges are liberal professors nowadays. So they taught these people, those people took positions in the media, Hollywood, so on and so forth. And that's what we ended up with. Now that's what everybody sees on their screen. You know, except for some of the conservative news channels, but I mean, let's face it, they even lean back and forth. I hate to say it. Michael, and if you have stocks, don't panic when it goes low. Just buy more because it'll go up eventually. It's a waiting game. Yeah, that's true, Mike. You know, stocks, you never actually lose money until you sell. Till you sell, or they go bankrupt and they go pink sheet. And then pretty much you're stuck with them. I mean, that's the only time you actually lose money on a stock. Other than that, it's all made up. But yeah, if you got one that's dipped and you have good faith when the economy comes back, it's going to bounce back up, don't sell it. It's the dumbest thing in the world to do. Don't sell when it's low. But if you know it's going to keep sliding and it's never going to come back, I mean, that's when you got to pull the cord and get out. But that's when you lose on a stock. Grant, I'm all about the angry pirate, just a guy who enjoys a great convo. Thanks, Grant. I appreciate that, brother. I like to BS. John, China owns the WHO. Yes, John, China absolutely does own the World Health Organization because the WHO will not call China out on anything. They pretty much back whatever nonsense China spills out in propaganda. Jesus. Audio is perfect. Picture is great. No lagging. Real professional. Thanks, brother. I had to upgrade my computer a while ago. I went with an Intel i9 processor, as good as I could afford. And I went with a good system. I got a good camera and I got a good mic. It all cost me a pretty penny. And I tried to get my stuff as good as I could get it. Because let's face it, if people don't like what they're hearing and seeing, it doesn't matter the content. They probably still aren't going to come back. So my content's So I at least wanted to get visually and audio as good as I could get it. So I'm glad to hear that. Jesus. Color coordination okay too. Thanks, brother. I'm all about the blue, red, white, and blue, brother. Grant, the dollar is not back, sir. Gold will only be the back. Right, gold will only be the back. That's true. And it's scary if they're going to mess with the gold standard. Like I said, I did not see that. I hope that's not true. But all the other crazy things they do nowadays, yeah. Who knows? Will F. China has supposedly admitted to withholding information on the CV, believe it or not. I do not believe that, Will. But China may have finally admitted to some of it. But their long list of what they've done as far as this virus, we will probably never know the full extent of what they've done. Let alone if they've gene manipulated, messed with this virus, and then leaked it on purpose as a form of population control. I still question all of that. I still can't say for sure, but it really makes you scratch your head when for decades they've been trying to get their population under control, especially having too many elderly, and all of a sudden a virus pops up that really attacks the elderly. Hey, brother Fred, welcome aboard, brother. Matey. Minx, brother Fred Not, sister Min. Jim John, welcome aboard, brother. Talk about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo hiding thousands of ventilators in a warehouse in New Jersey. A nosy reporter discovered the warehouse last Friday. Yeah, we were actually talking about that earlier. You know, I don't have a ton good to say about Cuomo. I think the reason he hid the ventilators was two parts. One part, make Trump look bad, because let's face it, he's still a Democrat, and every Democrat wants to make Trump look bad. As crazy as that is. TDS, yes. And at the same time, no matter how many ventilators Cuomo gets, because I think New York City's going to turn into a mess, it's probably not going to be enough. So at the same time, for him asking for more, I understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, yeah, let's hide him and make Trump look bad. Cuomo. Jesus. Can you tell us a little something of the great sword you have there? It's beautiful. Thanks, brother. I've had this, quite some times now. It's a rapier. It's just kind of one I had hanging on the wall. I don't have a true pirate sword, scabbard, or anything like that that could mimic a pirate sword. This is what I had. And I don't know if you ever priced like real swords. They are as expensive as heck. So at the time, it was buy a camera or buy a sword. So I went with a camera. At some point, I would like to get a better sword to actually mimic my pirate theme. Maybe in the future, we'll see. But thanks, brother. Fred Not. Everybody hit that like for the Angry Pirate. Thanks, brother. Yeah, if you guys could hit that like, I would appreciate it. This was just supposed to be a 15, 20-minute test. I'm not even sure what time it is now. Will F. I unplugged the plastic cesspool portal to your living room years ago and never going back. I unplugged that plastic cesspool portal to your living room years ago and never going back. China's. Oh, you mean. Oh, you lost me on that one. You mean with China? Portal to your living room years ago and never going back. Or you mean the TV? I don't even have TV. As crazy as it sounds, and probably most people out there all have television. I have TVs, but no TV. I pay for no TV service. I only have the internet, obviously. So I'm right there with you, brother. Grant Klaus, in the famous Twitter of President Donald J. Trump, China. Yeah, Grant, one of the things I like most that Trump has done recently was actually calling it the China virus, because that calls out China. That calls them out for every dirty little thing that they've done as far as this virus goes, right? And it's not racist. The Chinese are not a race. So you are not being racist to a race. China is not a race. And it's nothing to do with the people. Like I said, a lot of them people are just stuck. You know, they're stuck working under a communist dictatorship in a lousy spot. So it's nothing directed towards the people, more towards the regime running China. And the nonsense and, you know, if you have, ask my opinion, all the wrong things they did and evil they did with this virus. So I was really happy when he was calling it the China virus. Jeep, plus New Yorkers are leaving the state and possibly contaminating others. Well, yeah. Where do you not want to be at a time that a crazy virus that's highly contagious is going around? And that's New York City. You know, because it's so compact, so many people whose hygiene is questionable. And even if you have good hygiene, they're now saying it's possibly airborne, which I think it was a long time ago. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so I can't say as I'm surprised they're trying to run. And it's mostly the rich people who have other places to run too. Vacation homes, whatnot. So they're going to leave New York City, go to another neighborhood, and contaminate that neighborhood. Not good. Fred Not TV. Yeah, Fred, I got that a little late. Jesus, Justin Lockie, you are correct about the brainwashing, but it's not force. It's repeated propaganda and indoctrination in schools, movies, libraries, workplaces, unions, etc. Forced, yeah. Yeah. You know, if you take and start at a young enough age with almost anybody and you keep pounding the same thing into their head, they're going to eventually believe it, you know, unless they're really strong-willed and have other guidance outside of the schools, and especially TV, movies, and whatnot. And unfortunately, most kids nowadays, they don't have the guidance. You know, parents are busy, both work, whatever the case may be, or they're just not involved in the kids' lives. Sit them in front of the TV, the internet, the tablet, the laptop, the handheld, the cell phone, whatever it is, and they just let them go. Well, that's not good. Good conservative values are not being taught anymore, let alone common sense. To know what's right or wrong. Viper 6, hey, welcome aboard, brother. It's going, Viper. This was just going to be a quick live stream, and here we still are. The Texas Outlaw. You can find a decent cutlass for cheap. Probably won't be the best, but would fit your aesthetics. Yeah. I hate to say it, Mike. You're right. You can find a cheap sword, but it's against my nature to want to buy a cheap sword. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but if the zombie apocalypse ever occurs, I want a good sword. As insane as that sounds, that's my take on it. Grant, I thank you, sir. I thank you as well. Will F. My money is on a man-made bioweapon, either unintentionally or intentionally released by China. It's the CCP virus. Yeah, you know, and to those out there who say it's not, And to say they don't do that in biolabs and they don't not necessarily manufacture it, but tweak it. They do that. I mean, God's sakes, people, today they are making organs in labs. They are bringing back literal prehistoric cells and making them, duplicating them. They are so advanced in these labs nowadays on what they can do and break down a cell in order to reconstruct it, let alone a virus. It's insane. And they're constantly doing it. The United States was actually funding coronavirus research like this up till I think 2015 or 2016, and then we cut the funding for it. So the United States also has been doing this. But the only thing with the United States, I think our QC is a little better than China. Their quality control over there, not good. Not good at all. So to say whether it was purposely leaked or not, that's why I go back and forth. But I do believe it was leaked. Intentional or accidental, that's left for debate. Fred Knott, Will F, intentional for sure. It does look like that way. I mean, if you connect all the dots, and like I said, with them wanting population control, yeah, looks a little shady to me. Not to mention to take a swipe at the global markets, because China's been wanting to buy the world. I mean, they want to buy everything. So the best time to buy, like I'm saying about getting invested in the market, is now. So China wins all the way around with this. Yeah, they take some heat, blah, 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 but they're literally upping their medical supplies that they're selling. They're literally able to buy who knows what now cheap. So, yeah, there's a lot of motivation with China. Will F. Fred more than likely. I missed it. Oh, yeah, Fred more than likely. Texello, I will agree. Will F. Yeah, I think we're all kind of agreeing a little bit with that one. Fred Cutlass, I will take the 442 with a 4-speed. Yes, Fred, they were beautiful cars. The only thing that sucked about those, heavy. They were very heavy. So if you wanted to go quarter mile with a Cutlass, yeah, it took a little bit of money to make that go quick. Fred 442. Mike, what's the old saying? A lie repeated enough times begins to be thought to be true. Yes, Mike. Like I said, you repeat, especially to a kid, if you constantly repeat a lie over and over and over and over from who knows how many grades, let alone they stare at it in front of a TV telling you the same thing. Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. Trump is bad. And then there you go. Minx, Fred Knott, do your scorpions have any actual qualities? Curious. Oh, yes. Fred Knott keeps like these lethal scorpions to play with. I have a parrot, right? Fred Knott has scorpions. And I don't mean like one little scorpion in one little aquarium. He has all these crazy scorpions. Brother Fred, I do not know how you do it. I could not sleep at night knowing that my whole house was filled with scorpions. God bless you, sir. I have no idea how you do it. Fred makes Jeep have to say this. Martial law is right around the corner. Yeah, Jeep, I don't know. I hope not. I hope Americans will just isolate enough that we can ride this out, that they won't have to get to the point of calling martial law. But watching the spring breakers down in Florida act like idiots, Mardi Gras, the examples are just continuing. So I don't know how that's all going to play out. Maybe they will eventually call it. I don't know. I hope not, because I don't agree with it. But as long as they don't get the crazy idea to try to come take my guns, then we're going to have a problem. Travel Odyssey, welcome aboard, brother. You're right. It's a great time to buy stocks. Absolutely. There's no better time to make money on stocks. Buy low. Like I said, if you just want to buy to hold, like you trust the stock and you know the market's coming back, You're not going to get them any cheaper than now. Like I said, buying and selling on the waves, it makes you a good buck. Will F. China's economy has been in deep shit lately. Yeah, well, that was only because of the trade. That's all because of Trump. So then that makes you look at it like, huh, did China release this virus because they want to get back at Trump? I mean, because he's really been the only one that I can remember who stood up to China and said enough's enough. I mean, I give him a lot of credit for that. He backpedals sometimes and makes friendly with them, but at the same time, he really stuck it to China. And yeah, so their economy really wasn't doing that great. So it kind of makes you wonder, too, would they release it to tank the global markets to help their economy? Because who's now selling a ton of pharmaceutical? Who's selling a ton of medical supplies now? Gloves, masks? China. It really makes you wonder. Grant, this whole thing is global. When have us or our parents ever seen this before? Something is going on. Yeah, I keep remarking that. I've never seen this in my lifetime or my parents. My grandparents weren't really old enough for the Spanish flu, I don't believe. But yeah, other than then, like this is crazy. I've never seen a virus do this ever. Not to this extent. It's insane. Minx, really, it was really scary. Hope not. Yeah, the martial law thing. I hope not too. Jesus, dang Democrats support, use, and encourage all these young teens and Antifas. But think, just 5 or 6 years earlier, they were like 12 years old. Yeah, 12-year-olds. They're still like 12-year-olds, Jesus. What kind of life experience do they have to change the world? Greta. Yeah. I don't want to take a shot at some 12 or 14-year-old girl. That's why I never did a video on Greta Thunberg or whatever the heck her name is, the climate activist, because she's a puppet, and she's a puppet who is a child who was stuck on a global, literally shoved onto a global stage to push a climate. I don't want to call it a hoax because some of it is true. I mean, the climate is changing, but they literally shoved her onto a global stage, and I don't think that was right. I don't think her parents should have done that to her. So honestly, that's why I never took a shot at her. I think she's utterly ridiculous. I think all the hoopla around her is utterly ridiculous. How many adults actually sit there with their jaws dropped and think, oh my God, Greta is the next prophet? I mean, come on, people. But that's what the left seemed to have done with her. If I was her parents, there's no way I would have put her through that. Jesus is a prime. Yep, Greta is a prime example. Viper, call me crazy, but I think this was intentional and used as a test on how quickly they can infect the planet. Yeah, well, let me tell you what, Viper, it was pretty quick. With a weaponized version for which they would vaccinate their population and take over. It makes you wonder. And like I said, I believe what I believe. I don't care how many people with degrees or college educations or doctorates or, whatever, come to me and tell me anything different. I just cannot believe that it did not come from that lab. There's too many connected dots. I don't believe in that many coincidences. And yeah, it could have been a test. Like I said, I pull back a little bit and I say, I don't know if it was intentional or accidental. But, it could very well be a test. And let me tell you what, everybody's like, it's just a little worse than the flu. Yeah. Anybody study the long-term effects? Anybody study that there's so many cases now popping up where people are getting it again? The normal flu, you don't get that strain again. Once you've had it, your body develops antibodies that keeps you from really getting that strain of the flu again. But this flu strain, people are now popping up that they're getting it again. And that is not normal. So test, no, Jesus, no test. This is it. Yeah. Jesus, 4/6, 2-1 pandemic exercise. Yeah, I seen that. Minx, Jesus Gonzalez. Yep. Jesus, 100 years ago, the Spanish flu went around the world at least 3 times, getting deadlier each time. Well, that's one of the things I'm kind of concerned about this, Jesus, is it's not, there's no real end date, you know? Whatever this was, it was released. Now what it's going to do, nobody knows long term. That's part of the problem. That's why all these experts sit up there and they kind of backpedal at times because nobody has an answer. That's like when Trump goes up there and he's like, we're going to reopen at, what do you say, Easter. Everything will be back to normal. And then he had to backpedal. That's because nobody knows. I know, I kind of understand why he wants to say it, so he gives somebody a finish line. So they see an end in sight, nobody panics. But at the same time, honestly, I don't know if anybody knows, especially the long-term effects of this virus. It's never been in human circulation before. It's new. Yeah, why is it new? Yeah, because they got it from a bat that then people have been eating bats, as disgusting as it is, for centuries. If you look at the Chinese, they've been eating bat soup for hundreds of years. And now all of a sudden, boop, it pops up in the human circulation. Coincidence? I don't think so. Yep. Cheap guy, Jesus agree. Grant, this is no test. It will be the draining of the swamp. The bad folks will fall. Oh, yeah. I'm curious to see how that all plays out, Grant. Will F. Greta was a fine example of a kid being exploited and manipulated. I lost my screen again. Manipulated for a globalist agenda. You're absolutely right, Will. Viper 6, gotta go, bro. Keep up the awesome work. Thanks, brother. Thanks for stopping in. Like I said, I appreciate it. Will F. Greta was a fine example. Yeah, that's the thing. You're sticking a kid up there into a spotlight, and you could tell she has issues to begin with. I'm not sure what they were. I don't remember. I know she had something. But you're literally sticking a kid up there in the spotlight on a global standpoint to push an agenda, right? And open her up for attack. It's really sad. Like, where is the parenting there? If your parents want to stand up and do that, that's one thing. But your child, I think that's crazy. I think that's shameful on her parents. Will F. The Chinese have been eating everything that grows, walls, and crawls for centuries. Yes, Will. I have been to places in Asia. I will admit I've never been to China, and I've never seen them actually eat bat soup. But I know from research, from going to Asia and researching things about Asia, they eat bats. And like you say, and I've said, they've been doing it for centuries. So to think that all of a sudden, out of the blue, at that point in time, this virus decides, well, now I'm going to hop from this bat to this human. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I'll never buy it. Not with a biolab there in the very town where it broke out. Their level 4 biolab that was built in 2017 to study these viruses. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just never going to buy it. And like you said, I said, they've been eating them for centuries. Centuries upon centuries. And the dogs, I find that utterly disgusting. I mean, but unfortunately, I've been to markets in Asia and they eat dogs. To me, it's disgusting because I see them as a pet, but they don't. They see them as another food source. Whether you agree with it or not, I don't, but that's what they've been doing, and they've been doing it for centuries. Michael, yep. I've lived long enough to not believe in coincidence anymore. Yeah, like a coincidence is one thing, but when you have so many coincidences, I can't buy it. Coincidence that they've been wanting to get rid of their elderly population. Coincidence that, they've been trying to knock their population down for centuries. Coincidence they built the lab. Coincidence they were hiring doctors to study that virus, that very virus from bats. It's too much. It's like too many coincidences. We'll have to study and tweak viruses, apparently. Yeah, that's the problem. And this is why I didn't want to alarm anybody, but I made so many videos where I was kind of being somewhat alarmish on this virus and saying, if you can avoid getting it, because I believe it was tweaked with in a lab. And you don't know what a tweaked with virus will do to you long term, let alone short term. I mean, we're seeing the short term effects already. And another thing, they were doing studies to try to determine if this virus will make you sterile. Now, for me, I'm long past the need to worry about just being sterile. But for a lot of young people, that's something to think about. And they still haven't really released their findings as to whether it actually will make a human sterile or not. They found in mice, I don't remember what percentage of the tests. I want to say it was like over 50%, but they were finding 50% of the tests, the mice, when infected with this virus, were becoming sterile. Sterility, population control, China, too many coincidences. I'm sorry. I'm just never going to buy it. That it was just happened to hop from a bat that got eaten. Yeah, okay, didn't come from a lab. Do we have any more other topics to talk about? I'm open for anything. If you guys are good, I will say sayonara. I feel like this has been a good test. If nobody's had any issues, video or audio wise, I think it was a good test. Rolling Homestead, welcome aboard, brother. Look who is live. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, it wasn't planned. It was just going to be a short test. I haven't done a live stream in, it's been a long time. And I wanted to try it. I'm always impressed with your live streams. Justin's is usually pretty good. And like I said, I haven't done one in forever, so I wanted to try one. I got a new PC. I got a new mic. I got a new camera. All this new stuff, so I wanted to see if it would work or not to do a live stream. Fred, hey, brother Mark, good to see you, Fred. Yes, brother Fred is here. Thankfully, always adds to the conversation, the crazy scorpion guy. Much love, brother, but I have no idea how you do it. Rolling, you're ready to go. Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, there's a lot of functions I still got to figure out. Like taking somebody's comment and putting it on the screen. That I am still trying to figure out, and that wasn't it. Let's see. Add source, screen capture. Bear with me. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Did that work? I'm an odd duck for sure. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't think I got all of it. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm doing yet. Why are you running? What are you running for live feed? Can you have guests? We can. Ah, good, Jeep. I didn't get the whole thing. I missed Fred's name. What am I running for a live feed? Right now, I am running Xstream. X and then Stream is the name of the program. It seems to work okay. I am running a cam link, and then I run that to my camera. And that's pretty much what I'm running right now. And then I link to YouTube from Xstream. I don't know if I can have guests yet. I don't really, I haven't looked that up. Geez, guy, we can. That's good. Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles. Mark. Well, I just got home from work. I got to go get in the shower. Good seeing everyone. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Mark. I appreciate it. Like I said, it was just kind of a test, and now we're just shooting a breeze. Michael. Haven't heard of Xstream before. Oh, now it's actually, you guys see that on your end where it's actually updating the chat? Not sure how I have that working. Oh God, you would never know I am a technician. It's funny. Programs and systems are completely different. How do I stop that from doing that? With that. Yeah, Mike, I have Xstream. If you punch it in, they have a website and everything like that. It's actually free. If you have just the trial version, and the trial version works pretty well. I didn't have any problem with it before. I can see part of the comment that you highlighted. Yes, I'm trying to figure out how to highlight the entire comment. I think it's smart. Unfortunately, I can't get past my window. Aha, look at that. Woo. Takes us old guys a little bit to figure anything out, especially on the technical aspect. Can you see all of that, Mike? Aha, yes I did, and now it's updating. I don't know how to stop it from updating though. Oh well. Anyway. Yeah, I use Xstream, Mike. It is a free program. If you have any interest in it, like I said, you don't have to spend a dime on it. And the free version actually gives you a lot of functions. You can pay, I think it's $8 a month, I believe is what I got to test it out. $8.95 for a month, and it's good for 3 months. So I paid like $24, and it's good for 3 months. It gives me all the options of the upgraded audio and all the functions. But the free version, I used that before, and it worked good enough. So if you ever want a live platform to use or program, you could definitely give Xstream a shot. OBS is another one that's free. I didn't go with OBS because I don't know why. It didn't seem like it was as easy to use as Xstream is. Mike, unfortunately, I can't go live on YT because I don't have 1K subs. Oh, that's right. I forgot they put that in there. Well, keep it in mind in case you ever get there. But like I said, any of you guys on here are looking for mutual support. Any of you guys want to sub any channels? Most everybody who comes in here are good guys. I don't have anything to complain about from my subscribers. My continuous guys who you see on the chats, in the comment section, all you guys are good guys, and I really appreciate it. If there's anything I got lucky with on YouTube, it's that. And girls. I'm sorry, Minx. And girls, my bad. I don't know why. As probably because I'm a guy, I'm always used to saying guys and girls. My bad. Fred, StreamYards is a good one. Yeah, Fred. Justin told me about StreamYards. Is that one free? I'm not even sure if that platform is free or not. Michael, Zoom is good too because you can get, I think, unlimited guests. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm not sure on this yet, Mike. I'm not sure if I can get guests or not. Fred, yep. Oh, okay, so StreamYards is free. Mike, guys and gals. We all a bunch of guys and gals. Yeah, that's very true, Mike. I don't know why. Like, when I'm in I say I was over talking to the guys in the garage, and there could be 5 guys and 5 girls, and I'm just like, everybody's the guys. Fred Knott, Zoom isn't free though. Oh, Zoom isn't free? I did not know that. I know that Zoom is a conference conference program because I get stuck on Zoom calls at work, not by choice, mostly when something is broken. But yeah, I didn't know Zoom wasn't free. That's interesting, Fred. I know OBS is free. I know for sure XSplit it has a free version, and I can only say XSplit I found is better, I thought, than OBS because I don't know why I found XSplit was easier to use. I haven't used Zoom beyond like a conference call type deal though. Voice chat and stuff like that. StreamYards I haven't used. I thought Zoom was a free version of their app. Yeah, I thought it was free too, Mike. I didn't know you had to pay for that one. Fred, I know Mark uses Zoom and OBS together. It figures, and Mark just left. Well, that might make sense then, because if OBS, I don't think you can bring other people into the live stream. So that's probably why he combines it with Zoom. Because I know Zoom, you could probably definitely bring other people in. Well, yeah, Mike just said that. Zoom is good too because you can get, I think, unlimited guests. I think that as well, Mike. I'd have to pay for the unlimited stuff though. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I mean, maybe even too with Zoom, maybe that's the only way you can get extra guests. I mean, that could be too. That's probably one of the perks of paying for the premium version. I know XSplit, I haven't walked all through the entire program yet, so I don't know if I can even bring guests on. But I know they have unlimited scenes, so I can be playing unlimited videos while I'm live streaming, whatever I need to add in as far as that function goes. And I think the audio quality is increased, and I think the video quality is increased. But if you ever get to the point you're looking for a platform, that Xstream, really the free version isn't bad. It's just how much do you want to add into it, I guess. I paid the $24 to try it out for 3 months. Figured $8 something a month. I could try it. But like I said, I like the free version. I never tried OBS on a live stream, so I'm not really sure how it works. Not sure, but everyone I know who uses Zoom pays for it. That's interesting. I know Fred, Justin pays for that StreamYard. I thought he said $24 a month for that. I could be wrong. What are you drinking, by the way? I just had some Sam Adams left. It's just cherry wheat. It's all right. I like it as a fall beer. Usually I have Leinenkugel's. That's usually one of my brands I go with. Normally I would have a cup of coffee with rum in it. If you ever see me drink on a video, I usually pour my cup of coffee in the morning and take my shot of coconut rum to start my day. It's a little early, but I like the combo. No mead, though. Last time I did mead, I had a heck of a headache. Well, guys, I think this test was mostly successful. I'm not sure how many people still hanging on, but I do appreciate it. I think I'm going to hop off and figure out what I need to do yet on my end. Like I said, I'd like to start to live stream more. Yeah, Mike, coconut rum and coffee. Don't overdo it, but like a half a shot or a shot, man, and a good cup of coffee, the combo, I don't know, for me, just hits the spot. Jeep, you know your company is cool when we compare beers. Absolutely, Jeep. I mean, I hate to say it, that's one vice I'm stuck with. I'm not an alcoholic. At least I'm not told so. Nobody tells me I am, so I don't think I am. But I like to indulge a little bit. Fred, absolutely, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, thanks everybody for stopping by. Like I said, I wanted to do a test. I didn't think I'd be on this long, but that's usually how live streams go. And I like to shoot the breeze. And, like I said, my subscribers, you guys are 100% good guys. And I do enjoy shooting the breeze with all yous. I try to have a little bit more better of a live stream next time, but this time was a pretty good test. And I appreciate all you guys stopping in. What's Mike got to say? I'm drinking some Polish mead, Skull. Oh, enjoy, brother. Jeep, this was great. Made my night. Good night, everyone. Be safe. Yes, good night, everyone. Thanks, Jeep, for stopping by. Mike, Fred, Jesus, anybody who's left on, Minx. I thank all you guys. I appreciate your support. And take care. And as always, be safe out there, folks. Mateys.